That's all good. Hi, everybody. Sam here. I am so excited to be here with my new friend Clover. We are having a micro interview, and I was just chatting with her and learning a little bit about her story before I hit record. And oh my goodness, y'all are in for a treat. And I'm so excited to be able to connect her with the women at Safe Heart Connections. And so if you've been here for a while, I'm so glad you came back. If you were new here, we are so glad you found us. I believe that you can create any life you want, one choice at a time, and maybe something in this micro interview today with Clover is going to be a thing that you need to know to help you do that. So Clover, just introduce yourself, share with the women watching or listening a little bit about who you are and how you help in the world.
Sam said, I'm Clover Johnston. I help single and divorced moms regain their self-confidence and gain self-empowerment using my 3-step heal, grow, and thrive formula to navigate difficult co-parenting successfully, and by that, peacefully. How I got here? So
That's so good. Yeah.
abandoned and betrayed.
You are telling a little bit about your story. And so, ladies, if you're watching this, just know that she's learned how to do this because of her own story. And I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'd like to hear what you were going to say about how you got here. I had to chime in to say, knowing what you shared with me, you definitely learned this from experience.
Yes, so I focus on a 3-pillar method: the heal, the grow, and the thrive. And when we are knocked down and knocked out, because breakup is trauma and we need to recognize it for that. It is traumatic. It is mourning loss. It's a death. So it involves grief. Unfortunately, with that grief, it's not publicly acknowledged or socially validated like the physical death of someone. So we need to go on a healing journey. Whatever that looks like for each and every one of us is different. For some, it might be faith, like me. For others, it may be journaling. For others, it may be emotional freedom techniques. And there's a range out there. And we apply the ones that are specific to each person, because this is not a one size fit all. It's a tailored to you program, depending on where you are on your journey recovering from separation and divorce and in your co-parenting relationship. So that's the healing. The grow is about, how do I move myself from point A to point C, D, E, F to Z, right? The entire spectrum. And again, for each of us, this is going to look very differently, because some of us are in the acute stage of pain, meaning we have just broken up. Some of us are 2 months in, 3 months in, maybe a year. So we look at your personal situation and we set goals, right? That's what we do. We set goals for you. We look at we look at your responsibilities and how we deal with that, the reality of your responsibilities, because each of us, again, this is different. The O is for the options and the opportunities that you have. In my case, there was an option to up level. There was an option to do professional development courses. For some people, it may be an option to start a stay-at-home business. But for everyone, the options and the opportunities look very different. And the W is the will to move forward and the way forward. So it's the will and the way. You have to have that will to want your life to change. And as I was sharing with Sam before, a friend of mine told me in my struggles that success is the best form of revenge. And therefore, that means having to develop that will to wanting to move yourself forward. And if you have kids that are dependent on you, you definitely want to be moving forward. So the thriving, comes from the relationships we build with people like me. So we are a tribe of people. More than 1 in 3 marriages end in divorce. And additionally, there are the long-term relationships, some short-term, that produce children that also fall apart. So the statistics is high, and we have to take action to move ourselves forward. And you don't do that in isolation. You don't do that by holding your head in shame and pulling your covers. No, we do that by building connections and shedding light on ourselves and developing friendships with people who we trust, people who are a step ahead of the journey, right? Whether they're 10 steps, whether they have long walked the journey like me, and just a big voice out there for this tribe of women. But that's where the thriving comes from, like I am doing now. I can speak out without bitterness, without pain. And I'm speaking for a tribe of women and telling them, I'm not perfect, but you can be like me, meaning an overcomer. So you can get to the other side so that your children do not become the victims of this heavy generational trauma. Because if we allow it, that's what happens. We cripple the children with the trauma, and the trauma goes down to their children. So it is very important that we recognize it as trauma and we take the steps that we need to heal. And we look at the other person, even though we are disentangling from them and the identity that we have developed from the union, that we say to ourselves, I have talents and abilities that have so far been untapped, and I need to work on those. Each and every one of us has unique giftings, and you would never know this until you start to work on yourself. You just never know. I remember when I was doing graduate studies, and one of my classmates said to me, "Oh, Clover, you are so confident." And I looked at him and I said, "Thank you. I didn't even realize that." So sometimes, just from being out there, we attract people who are supportive, who want to help us, who want to see us move along, and who want to see us become overcomers and move beyond this space, the space where we may be frozen in time and thinking, I can't do this, I can't move forward because John or Tom used to do all of this for me. There is nothing that you can't learn. There is absolutely nothing in life that you cannot learn and build the confidence. It takes time and it takes a commitment to do it. So I encourage you, keep moving forward, building your confidence, creating this desire to learn, to be a lifelong learner. Keep learning and keep moving forward.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you to share a tip or a thought or a piece of advice, but everything you just said was that. And so I just want to hone in on the last little bit of what you were talking about because it's something I teach my women as well. And it's the concept of always be learning, that if you want to create something different, you just have to make a different choice. And maybe you don't have the knowledge that you need. So learn what you need to learn. I agree with you 100%. You can always learn what you need. You just have to know what that is. And so from the idea of going from being in a relationship to being separated or divorced or on your own again, it can be scary. And you're right, so many of us have done it, but we're stronger than we know we are. And when you said that they said that you have, what was the adjective that the gentleman said that you are
Confident.
confident. I couldn't think that. Yeah. And sometimes people see that in us before we see it in ourselves. And so who you surround yourself with is really important as well. We're not meant to go through life alone. And so, Clover, I'm so excited to be able to introduce you to my women. I'll make sure that your link is around the video here, wherever they're listening or watching. And I will make sure that they get to click through to connect with you if this is something that resonates with them. Do you have any closing thoughts before we wrap up today?
One quick closing thought, and this is straight from my story, is that I think one of the places that women get hardest hit, besides the emotional, is the financial. And so I would encourage any woman listening here today is to learn about all the financial products that are on the market, and there are many, so that you can make wise choices about how to invest your money. And not just how to invest, but also to how to disentangle from a partner who is likely to want to exploit the, the assets that you have built up over the years. So
Yeah,
I think that is
that's
very
very,
important.
very important for sure. Good. Like I said, I'll make sure that your links are all around this video, and I'm hoping that we can stay connected and get to do something like this again soon.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a good day.